Do you know what, guys? I feel like I've been a bloody yo-yo today. Hi, guys, and welcome back to the Winds of Change. And we're actually about to do a quest that I thought came later in Part 3, but apparently it's really early on in Part 3. Yeah, we're going to be defending, essentially. It's a cool... so many of the ones in Part 3 are cool quests. I'm just going to throw us straight into it because there's a fair bit of combat. And like I said at the end of the last episode, there's actually something I kind of want to talk to you guys about. There's a lot, actually, that's been... today's been just hectic, man. Anyway, right, so we'll speak to Cowlin, who's, look at all these requisition orders. Seriously, look at all these orders. If you look in my inventory here, actually, you'll see we've already got 54 of the damn things. That's not even traded over the stuff that Peter's got. Don't forget, I've pretty much completed a lot of this on Peter Redhill now. So we will have a lot of these commendations. I'm hoping that because all this stuff's building up so very high now, it will actually help me significantly with showing off all the rewards, which should be quite cool. So, but yeah, you get a hell of a lot. Hard mode really is quite rewarding. You see all this money I've got here? All the way through the Let's Play, I've tried to make sure I don't have like too much money in my inventory or stuff. You notice how I've never shown storage as well? I kind of had this thing when I first started. I didn't want to draw, you know, the wrong kind of attention to my account. But this is just literally what we've built up from playing, and I really haven't had a chance to deposit it because I haven't been thinking about it. Winds of Change gives you quite a lot of money just from playing through stuff, and that's not even selling items like golds and that I've been getting on Tom, because I've been trading those to my main account. So if there is one redeeming factor of it, if you haven't been enjoying the story that much, it is you do get pretty much minted. Anyway, right, so we're going to go into hard mode and speak to Cowlin, who says, I hope you're ready for battle. If so, speak with me and we can begin positioning our forces. I shouldn't have to stress to you that we're all that stands between our enemies and the Emperor, not to mention countless innocent civilians. We must not fail. So what's going on? He doesn't actually tell us very much. Remember, yesterday we found out loads of gangs have actually come here into Kaineng, and there's been a bit of a distraction. All of the ministry, all of the forces pretty much have left. They're halfway to the Ekavald Forest, to quote a friend of ours, and all that's left are just a handful of the Imperial Guard and us to stop them from attacking. They want to create their own empire of crime, so we have to try and stop them. So we can scream, "They shall not pass," or we can say, actually, I think I have a boat to catch. No, we're going to be Gandalf. We're going to do it. What we do for the glory of the Canthan Empire. Are you ready to begin positioning your forces? Yes, let's get this battle started. May have to do this twice. Oh, maybe I won't, actually. Let's just get this battle started. Yeah, I don't think I have to do this twice. So this is a defense encounter. I've kind of alluded to this in a previous episode, and it's a defense encounter in Kaineng, which we haven't seen since Nightfall, if you're transferring a factions character over to the Nightfall campaign. So we load in, there's lots of dialogue straight away. Cowlin says, "Look alive, men. Today we fight not just for our lives, but for the whole of Cantha. I'll spare you a long speech and simply remind you that retreat is not an option. Failure is not an option. We must be victorious." And Cowlin says, "Tom Bluid, my men will obey your orders. Speak with them and direct them to where you want them to be stationed. We only have a few minutes before they break through the gate, so move fast." Right, you got 3 gates. You got this gate up here. This is the palace gate behind Cowlin, okay? You cannot heal the gates, so when the gates take damage, that's it. It's pretty much game over. You can't get their health back, so if they take too much damage, they'll break and you lose, right? But they have to get through 2 gates first. You've got the front gate, which is where we're going to be positioned, okay, which is over here. There's also a docks gate, which is, as you might expect, over here near the docks. Now, the enemies are going to be attacking from 2 fronts during this quest. They're mostly, for the first couple of waves, going to be attacking from the front gate, which is why I'm positioning myself here. But at some point, I think it's like the 3rd wave, the 2nd wave perhaps, you'll see how they're breaking the front gate right now. This is probably a good chance to flag your friends out. At some point, they will start hitting the docks gate, and you have to make a decision. Do you want to split your party to try and defend both gates at once, or what? Now, I have tried this with splitting the party. It just didn't seem to work very well, honestly. It just was not very, very good. So, what we're going to do here is defend the front gate, though, just let it break straight away, and defend here until they start attacking the docks, at which point we're going to retreat to the palace, and we're going to defend both waves at once at the palace gate, and we're going to try and intercept them before they get up to the palace gate and do any real damage to it. So Cowlin will continue speaking to us through the quest. He says here, "They've broken through the gate. This is it, my men. Balthazar, guide our blades." And I just cocked up that entire skill chain because I was reading that. So, yeah, that's kind of what we're going to do. The mechanic with the guards over there, if you saw them as I loaded in, is essentially these guards are yours to position wherever you want. You can click them, they'll follow you, and then you can click them again, and then they'll stand wherever they want. It's not an entirely new mechanic for Guild Wars. There's always been NPCs like that you could speak to. Notably, the Ghostly Hero was the one I always remembered from Prophecies. They just essentially have that exact same AI as he did. So, what you're going to... Oh, my God. How the hell did they just all get spiked out like that? That isn't good. That's not good at all. Well, we just wiped instantly. That's really, really bad. What the hell happened there? Alright, so obviously we are in hard mode, and I'm just going to brush that off and just keep walking. We are in hard mode, so there are lots of dangerous enemies, and there's a lot of variety of enemies as well on this quest, because of course now you've got gangs and groups of criminals and enemies from all different corners of prophecies and factions and Nightfall and Eye of the North. So you've got all kinds of different characters going on in the War in Kryta. In fact, Eye of the North didn't actually have any, did it? It was just War in Kryta. But still, there's a lot of variety here. I don't know whether, like, let's say the War in Kryta enemies, I don't know whether they have specifically new, like, War in Kryta, like, whether they have just the War in Kryta builds, or now they've got Winds of Change builds for War in Kryta mobs, do you know what I mean? I don't know whether they've updated it that much, but they're dangerous, suffice it to say, especially in hard mode. I'm going to flag those guys back. That was really weird. What the hell were they hit with? Must have been like a meteor shower or something. It's annoying though, because they were flagged together. The only 4 people flagged together, and they were the ones that got hit. I mean, what a pain in the arse. So, yeah, they are dangerous. I don't know how well I'm really going to be able to handle this, or my team's going to be able to handle this. This is one of the ones, I believe, it took me in Magical Mike a couple of times to get right. But generally, you should be okay. The most risky thing is later when you're at the Palace Gate. And, like I said, you can't heal the gate. So you need to be positioned in the correct way so that enemies aren't going to slip past you and all your spirit walls and minions and stuff and actually start hitting that gate. Because they can knock it out quite quickly. So, really, that's what you've got to be careful about doing. I'm very surprised I wiped as easily as I did there. I might just micro up shelter or something when we begin here. And yeah, that's really it for the mechanics stuff. The reason why I've left the guards, and I've not bothered doing anything at the docks. I find that the docks, my experience with it anyway, has just been that as soon as you start trying to piss about with the docks, you just start collapsing on both fronts. I think the idea is supposed to be that you flag all of the guards, or you position all the guards at the docks gate first of all. Oh, was it a demolitionist? Was it 2 demolitionists? Is that what happened? See, look, they throw demolitionists in at you. That's pretty harsh, I've got to say. I didn't even realise they did that until just now. But they do give you morale boosts if you manage to kill them and they don't explode, which is good. In fact, are they randomised? I thought our first group before were Delgamore. It could be randomised, the groups that come in at you as well. So, that's kind of a good thing in one way. It means that if you failed at some point, you might get a little bit more lucky later. But yeah, the reason why I didn't bring the guards with me here, or put them at the docks gate, is simply, if you bring them here, they can run through. This is another example of one of those things where there's like a place where some NPCs will move forward, and a lot of the guards can get out there and die out, like on the stairs, and you might know, it's just going to be a bit of an annoyance if you're trying to get all of the guards over here to fight here, and then when you want to retreat to the palace gate, it can be a bit annoying sort of cleaning them up. So that's why I don't take the guards here. Guards can respawn. They will resurrect, okay? Which is significant. It does mean that you can feel free to have them here with you if you want. It's just that you're going to have to, like, figure out exactly how you want to control them. And, oh, shit, see, I'm overextended. I'm sorry, I can't stand playing an assassin. All my instincts for playing the game are to get forward and do damage. And you're punished for that. When you're playing an assassin, you are punished because you just die constantly. Shadow steps, arguably the one cool, unique skill type or thing that assassins have got going for them, will get you killed. It's so poorly balanced. It really is. I'm sorry. I know a lot of it is, oh, you're just not playing very well, but there are other classes that can be constantly using their skills and putting out the damage to the best of their abilities and not be at risk like this of dying all the time. It's irritating. It's so irritating. And they're killing me, so I'm just going to have to try and backline, I guess, all the time. Which is, I think, a big part of the problem right now is that I'm using Death Blossom, which makes me want to go in on big AoE groups. See, look, everyone's getting spiked out. What is going on? I reckon it's shelter. It's because the minions aren't sort of surviving. This is kind of scary, actually. These guys are not holding up as well as they should be. Have I added the wrong person to the team, I wonder? See, look at all these monsters that have built up. This isn't good. I actually want to spend most of this episode. You'll see that I kind of rushed all of the mechanics stuff. Alright, well, we did kind of survive that a little bit. I kind of rushed talking about all the mechanics stuff. That's because I've got, like, other stuff that I can talk about. For once, there's actually been a bit of news. I don't know. One of them's a bit of a weird story. I never tell you guys stories about stuff that happens to me. And, I don't know, this was the first time something happened to me in my life that I'll talk about later. But anyway, one thing... Oh no, let's talk about it. Okay, so the other day, just before I filmed yesterday's episode, actually. Just before, and I wanted to talk about it yesterday because it was really fresh on my mind. And since I mentioned it yesterday, I may as well talk about it. I had like a bath, and we don't actually have a shower in my house. Nobody ever showers. We never have a shower. It's always baths, which is actually really bad for the environment. I had to like fill out a survey, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, about just like my lifestyle choices and what impact I've got like on the world or whatever. And generally, I was pretty good, and it like it totals up your points, and then it says at the end, oh, this is how good you are to the environment, this is how bad you are. And like having baths instead of showers is really, really bad. You'd be surprised. That gave me like so many points on that thing, like a ridiculous amount of points, just because I choose to bath instead of shower. Anyway, I would shower, it's just we don't have one in the house anyway. But yeah, so everybody baths, right? And I don't know, maybe it's just something about me. As the years have gone on, I've liked to have really hot baths, like really hot baths. Like, I'm pretty sure if I was having baths this hot when I was younger, you know how people can become like acclimated to like temperature and stuff. I'm pretty sure if I had it, you know, baths as hot as I have them now, about, you know, 5 years ago, I would just burn like my skin right through. But I love having hot baths, right? I usually get in, and then it's at a certain temperature, and then I just like fill it up some more with hot water, and just, I don't know. And recently, anyway, it's got to the point where every time I have a bath, I get head rush when I stand up. I stand up to open the window and, you know, towel myself off. I get head rush from it. I was like, oh, that must be the heat. Now, I've never really been someone that's... I mean, I've never been in hospital, right, ever. I've never been in hospital my entire life. Well, okay, you know, visiting people, I've been in hospital, and I once had, like, an operation on my toe, but, you know, I've never been put under any, you know, anaesthetic, and I've never had, like, a proper operation or anything like that. So, I've never really had much experience of, like, I don't know, how my body can react to certain things. Anyway, so to cut a long story short, or, you know, to keep a long story long, I had head rush yesterday before filming the episode. Really bad head rush. And I've had head rush at some points in my life where it's been so bad that I've started to go a little bit, like, lose your vision, and, like, you get a bit of tunnel vision. You can't quite see all the way around you. And I've had that happen quite a few times. But I had that yesterday. And I just thought, oh my god, this is quite strong. And like just sort of bowed my head a little bit. Well, let's return to the game for a second. Cowlin says, those fiends, they brought reinforcements by sea. Move some of our men to the northwest to defend the gate leading to the Bejakin Pier. The gate won't hold long. You see how the gate's already going? That's your cue, my friends, to say sod it and come straight over to the gate, the palace gate. And now we're going to defend here. Hopefully we'll be fine. You can click all of the guards, which is what I'm going to do. And they will follow you. That means that they will help you. These guards are actually quite useful. They use a lot of really nice skills, which is cool. You've got some archers and some warriors. I think the warriors use like double dragon and stuff, which is pretty nice, especially considering the new version of double